Good morning. My name is David URSINO and I manage the downtown office of Royal LePage, your community office. One of the questions we often get as realtors is, how's the market doing? And sometimes, rather than saying, oh, it's good, we're selling lots of homes, you might want to have some numbers to give them. You want to give them the impression that you know your data, you know your stats, and it increases your credibility. So how do I do this? So every month I do a market update, and this is the Excel spreadsheet that I use. I'm going to share this Excel spreadsheet with you so that you can have it, and you can see how I do it, and you can adapt it to your own market. The perspective of this Excel spreadsheet is the central Toronto market, obviously, but you can absolutely adapt these numbers or the numbers you're going to pull from the Market Watch report for your own areas. So first of all, this is the spreadsheet I use. How do I get the data in here? So I get this from the Market Watch report. I'm just going to open this up, and you guys should all be familiar with the screen. Here's the Market Watch report. Just going to click on that. And November 5th is the latest one that represents the October stats. So I'm going to access it by clicking here. Click here for complete report. And here's the report. Each row on this spreadsheet here is a month. It's an issue of Market Watch. So I'm just going to add the October data. It tells me right at the top here, all homes, page 4, Toronto Central. So it tells me what page to go to. So I'm just going to switch this to page 4, and I'm going to start populating the data. So I'm looking at Toronto Central, number of sales, 1432. I'm just going to pop that in there. And I'm going to keep going on this row, and I'll pause the video while I do that, and I'll be back once it's all filled out. And welcome back. So as you can see, I've added these numbers that are from the Market Watch report. And the last few columns are formulas. So all I'm going to do is just drag down, and it'll populate the number. Month's worth of inventory is 2. Year-over-year price growth is 8. I'll explain those in a minute. 1.8 month price increase from the previous month. And sales have gone up by 4.3%. So here's some great numbers that you can tell your clients. You can sound educated, you can sound like you know what you're talking about, and you can sound professional. So the first most important piece, I think, is this graph here that talks about months of inventory. This gives us an idea of what kind of market we're in. Are we in a seller's market, a balanced market, or a buyer's market? The seller's market is, I define it as anything under 3 months. Balanced market is 3 to 6 months, balanced market is 3 to 6 months, and a buyer's market is anything greater than 6 months. Some of these numbers vary month to month, by whoever you ask, but I find these numbers work for me and for my office, so that's what I use. I know some people use under 4 months as a seller's market, for example. I think these numbers are, it's better for us. Anyways, so let's take a look. Actually, first of all, let me apologize to anybody in the outskirts of Toronto. If you're in Ajax, if you're in Richmond Hill, in Vaughan, anywhere that is outside Toronto, I know you've had a challenging market. We did as well a little bit, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But the first graph is months of inventory. So we continue to be in a strong seller's market. Actually, let me do this. Let me update these graphs. So how do I update these graphs? Just click on that, on the graph itself to select it. And I'm just going to pull down this little blue box down to include the latest month. Okay, I'm going to do the same for all these. Jumped a little bit ahead here. Whoops. And now each of these graphs is updated to reflect the October number. So back to this. Yeah, we continue to be in a strong seller's market. I'm able to go out and tell clients that we are at 2 months worth of inventory. There's not a lot of inventory right now. And what does inventory mean, really? It's the amount of inventory that we have. So if nothing else gets listed, how long will it take to deplete this current inventory? It's a simple calculation. All we're doing is taking active listings and dividing it by the number of sales. So 2843 divided by 1432 gives us 2 months worth of inventory. As you can see, like I said, we've had a strong seller's market in the central market since forever, really. It's been a long time. I've started tracking this in January 2017. You can see how it slowed down for us when the Fair Housing Plan was announced in April 2017, and we can see that the inventory shot right up. I'm being sarcastic. Before that, we were at less than a month's worth of inventory. Then it shot up to about 2.5 months worth of inventory, and we've been hovering up and down along that line. Still considered a strong seller's market. I know that this line is very different from some of the outskirts. In fact, here, let me show you how detached homes in the central market have been affected. So they're the more expensive homes, and you can see that those have been in a balanced market. Anyways, back to this. So that is inventory. That's probably one of the most important stats to pull out of all of this. What else do we have? We've got average home price and days on market. So you can see the green line is the days on market that's pulled from column G here. And days on market's been reducing. And typically when that comes down, average price, the red line, goes up. So you can see that those are inversely proportional. And then we've got, so this is kind of good news here, year-over-year price growth that's pulled from column I. Year-over-year price growth's been positive since June 2018, which is fantastic. The media this is what the media picks up on. They talk about two things: sales, number of sales, and price growth, year-over-year price growth. And when they're talking about this, it's a negative news story. As you can see here from these months here, when we had negative growth. So you can see that we had negative growth because we were comparing February 2018 to February 2017, and for these months as well. So we were comparing to record years, and obviously there was a dip in prices. Just going to turn that off. Now that we have positive price growth, the media is starting to pick up on that, which is great news for us. Finally, down here, I've got median price and average price that are just pulled from columns D and E. That is it for this slide. Just want to double check. So this one I've explained inventory, year-over-year price growth. You can just take a look at the formulas up here as you click through the Excel spreadsheet, and it'll tell you what's being calculated so that you know and you understand where the number comes from. That is it for this slide. You can then further refine this as you go down into your markets. For example, I've got detached central, condos central, and then condos CO1 and condos CO8. Again, I'm going to share the slide with you so you'll have all this in front of you. Finally, if you're sitting out in the outskirts of Toronto and you see that we've had, prices have gone down, things haven't been so great, and sellers are telling you, is it a good time to sell, or buyers are asking you, is it a good time to buy? Is my investment gonna go up? Well, show them a 10-year slide. So here's one that shows the GTA, this is for the whole of the GTA, average price of all homes. Yeah, you can see we had a little dip in price from 2017 to 2018, but so what? Show them the past 10, 12 years like this graph does. You can see that the average home price has been going up, and people have been building equity into their homes. So add some perspective, add some context. Don't just get stuck on the past year. Real estate's been going on forever, obviously. It's short-sighted to just look at the past year. That's it for me. I hope that explains everything. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a call at the office. 416-637-8000 is my number. Thanks very much. Have yourself a great day.